Hey, welcome to my second vlog. In my first vlog, I was just getting started. I was talking about my dreams, my strategy, and then the question was, well, how do I actually do something? How do I get started? So I thought a good beginning might be just that I try to recreate a song, and this is my first project. So I chose one song. It's called Fade from Alan Walker. Alan Walker, I think he's super famous right now, and I think Fade was like the first song on YouTube from him that got really famous. And I picked this song because I think it's a fairly easy song. There's not that much going on, I think. And I just kind of want to show you kind of what I already know of the song and how I'm trying to get started. So I put I think until now I put like 10 hours of work into trying to recreate the song, and I just want to share my learnings. So let's get started. So of course I started by just downloading the song and then trying to analyze it. First I'm trying to analyze what are kind of the harmonies, what are kind of the melodies in the song. So I'll just kind of play the first bit of the song. It's like this. And that's basically it. So the 4 chords in the song, I think, and it's like in this what we just heard, like it's like that for the whole song. I think there's just these 4 chords. It's basically the same melody in the whole song. That's why it's kind of easy. The scale, I think, is a minor scale, and I think for the chords, if I'm not wrong, I think the chords are D sharp minor, so that would be, I think, D sharp minor, then B major, then F sharp, and then C sharp. I think these are the chords of this song. Trying to play it together would be, I think, like this. That seems to match. Now it's B, now F sharp, and C sharp, right? So D sharp minor, B, and so on. And from that, I can try to build the melody. So we have like the. So that's all very easy in this D sharp minor scale. So that's done basically. The song from a chord perspective, I think, is super easy. At least I'm just trying to hear from the song. I don't know. That's just my best shot. Next, I try to analyze the parts of the song. So I think it's like a typical EDM song. So every EDM song has an intro. So in the intro, of course, is like the beginning where you just hear the melody, you just hear some of the chords. Later in the intro, you get like some more chords, some more instrument, a little bit of bass. And after the intro, there's the break. So I think this is when you have this first big hit, and then everything is still the same like the intro, but it just builds up a little bit, and then it actually leads into the real build up, which is then the next part of the song. And there you can hear some drums are starting. You hear the snare, and then it just everything builds up and builds up. There are some effects going on, and then you have like this rising sound, and then it goes over to the drop. So of course the drop then is like after the peak of the build up. Now this is the drop. This is the big part of the song, and it goes on for a couple of bars. And then after this big drop, you have like the next break. So that's like when it gets quieter again. It kind of goes back to the first intro, to the first break. Everything now we're in the second part of the song. So it's we just heard like intro, break, build up, drop, and now it's another set of break, build up, drop. So like second break, second build up, second drop, and then there's the outro. In the second part of the song, I think everything is exactly the same like in the first part, just the melodies and the chords are a little bit different. But there's the same kind of effects, the same sweeps, the same instruments mostly. So that helps me a lot. So if I've built like the first part of the song, the first half, I almost already have the second half also finished, which is really nice. So that's like the song structure. We have intro, break 1, build up 1, drop 1, break 2, build up 2, drop 2, and then there's the outro. So at the very end of the song, that's like the end of the drop, and now there's just an outro, right? It just goes a bit down, a bit quiet again. Okay, so the song structure is also, I think, nothing special. I think this is the typical structure. And now it gets tricky. Now it's about analyzing each part, individually on a micro lens. So for me, I don't have the same synthesizers and the same instruments and the same plugins as what was Alan Walker used, but I don't care so much for that. For me, it's more about just hearing and just analyzing what's actually going on, when is what happening. And then try to recreate these effects and these sounds, but it doesn't have to be 100% because I'm not trying to actually mimic this guy. I just want to learn from his music and see what he does. So I'll just go in a bit into detail about what I've analyzed. I'm not going to cover everything. It's quite a lot actually in this 4-minute song. But I think it's interesting to see kind of what can you hear. Like listen really closely and you find a lot of stuff. So that's the beginning of the song, and that's just 2 instruments. There's like this kind of plucked guitar synth, and it has like this big like delay reverb effect. Like it sounds very bright, like it's in a cathedral or something. I don't know. And then there's the lead instrument. It's just like this main melody. It's like. It's very plucky, like very short, and there's some slides in it, so it's not like each note exact, but some notes just slide in each other. So it's like like this is dim 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 wing, like it slides into the next note, which is an easy effect you can easily build. So it starts just with these 2 instruments, then. As you can hear here, it's like at bar 9. Then some more instruments start getting into the mix. And I think it's 2 instruments. I think it's just like some chords in the mids, and there's like also a bass. And it also starts very, very plucky, like very, very short sounds. Right? And the rest stays the same. And then I think, then we have the first effect, which is quite interesting. So if we hear to this, roughly here. So what you might be able to hear, there's like this white noise building up, but it's sidechain. So it's not just going, but it's going like. Listen to it. So there's like, so that's also a nice effect. I think there's also a second rise. I think there's not just this, but also another noise sweep. This is also swelling, like additionally doing this to really build some heat in this part. Then also, and this is very interesting, I think, the instruments are also changing how they sound. So here, it's very plucky, like ding 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 ding. But over here, it sounds much more bright, so I think there's more high frequencies there. It's also a bit longer, maybe more distorted. I'm not really sure what exactly the effect is. I'm just gonna play around with my sounds, with my synthesizers, and see how I can build something similar. Then this leads. That's like the big hit. Another effect, and it goes on like this. So I'm just I'm analyzing the parts. What are the effects? What are the instruments? What is going on? So that's kind of what I will be busy with. What I personally enjoy the most building, I think it's quite easy, but I'm a drummer, so maybe that's why it's easy for me. It's like these little drum fills in between. For example, here. So he plays around a little bit with like a crash sample and a bass drum. So it's like. it's like, so that's like the crash, and then added with a bass drum. And then you also hear like this. So there's also like this this very simple synthesizer sound that just goes up. It's like, so it just builds in pitch for this build up. It's like, so it gets higher and higher and higher and higher, and over here it's already really high. So it just also helps to build up the heat for the drop then. Yeah, this is kind of my starting analysis. So I kind of analyzed the whole song for me, and then I structured it into to-dos basically. So I put up like a Google Drive with all the to-dos, all the tasks I have to do to build the whole project, and I also estimated times for each of the tasks, and I gave myself quite little time for each task, only like 15 minutes or 30 minutes to like build an effect, to build a fill, to build a melody, that kind of stuff. And when I was first starting, I was just randomly starting to build stuff without doing this analysis first, and then I got super lost and super stuck, and it was chaotic. So then I took a step back, analyzed the song, and now I have like a task list I will be working on for the next week. And I think this will help me to know where I am in the project and to finish it. So I just want to finish something. I'll give myself like this another week, so maybe 10 to 20 hours of working maximum. And then in the next vlog, next week, I'll show you what I built, and if it sounds anything like the original. Right, that's it. That's it for this week. This is what I am up to, just trying to build the first project, trying to recreate Alan Walker Fate. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next week.